Check this out.
Hell's feet, right hard with a comeback. No!
This is brutal. Classic moment in Tekken history. You guys can check out Ryan Hart's YouTube where he talks a little bit about it. But that was Evo 2008 Grand Finals for T5. Check this one out.
He's got to earn it on the ground. And
Evo 2015 Grand Finals. Both players, this is post-reset, last game.
Stay in it.
Is GamerB gonna have to climb the steepest mountain? Taken down once again, the tournament point for Momochi. He has to win these 2 rounds. Oh no!
No, James, not like this. Not like this. No.
Look at Momochi's face when this happened.
Not like this.
That is the face of fuck. When you fuck up and you know that it was your fault and you know everybody else knows too. That's some sitcom tier shit. So here's the thing. The reason why I show that stuff is because controller disconnects, controller issues, hardware malfunctions. There's countless examples of this over the years. This has been stuff that has been an issue with fighting games on big stages and big moments for going on 20 years. It's not something new. What is new and what does change is the hardware that we use, and with that, certain connectivity issues that arise, right? So for example, we just watched this Evo Grand Finals where this is a PlayStation 3 issue, you know? Accidental home button on PS3. We then go to PS4 era where somebody's stick breaks in the grand finals of this game. And also there's the issue of pad players in general. So the big thing is pad player connectivity has changed over the years as well, right? The issue is this is a recurring theme in fighting games for years. It's a constant struggle. It feels like every console generation we have to consistently evaluate how do controllers connect to this console, what's going to be the preferable method for connectivity for players, for tournament organizers and event organizers. This happens consistently every console generation. So during PlayStation 4 generation, it was generally accepted that Bluetooth connectivity and wireless pads that connected to PlayStation induced input delay, which means the amount of time for your button to come out after you press it is longer. Thus, wired is going to be the preferred method of connectivity there. There's a whole lot of stuff from put together from a whole bunch of people that are way smarter than me that have put together data on this and theories. You guys know who SKD is? You probably don't. He would write it looked like schizophrenic, just like manifestos on the power of Bluetooth to fuck up your gameplay. Multiple Bluetooth devices in the same environment used to induce the delay more. It was all kind of weird shit that you don't have to worry about if you just, you play wired, right? But that's the nature of pad players and stuff like that, is it becomes down to preference. What's new about this, though, is for PlayStation 5, the Bluetooth technology has grown and developed by several generations at this point compared to when it was used on PlayStation 4. To the point now where the Bluetooth and wireless connectivity is understood to have close to parity with wired, which means that input delay issue is no longer an issue. What does that mean? It means it creates the environment where some pad players are going to naturally prefer to play wirelessly. If there's no demerit to their gameplay by playing this way, why would you not just want to play wireless with the pad? So why is this a big issue? Why is this a big deal? Check this out. So this is 2013. This is the Tekken Tag 2 World Championships. I believe in the same tournament. AK, then 13 years old from the Philippines. See him, little guy at the time, just steps up to the cabinet. He has to play JDCR. They play a thrilling set. I believe before this match, AK beats Nobi in this tournament. 13-year-old AK, right? Going toe-to-toe with the best in the world in Tekken Tag 2 at the time. Fast forward 10 years, just about, over 10 years, and you get to the DreamHack Dallas Road to Esports World Cup qualifier. And the big thing about this event is that it's not only a Tekken World Tour Challenger event, which is going to offer a lot of points. It's also an Esports World Cup qualifier. The top 8 advance to the Esports World Cup that'll be held later this year. Now, what is that and why is that important? Well, that kind of sets off another conversation, doesn't it? The Esports World Cup is a large event hosted in Saudi Arabia that is going to be hosted, I think, over the course of 7 to 8 weeks, where they'll host several different games, a lot of different titles, and pretty much all the big organizations and teams are competing in it. Now, the caveat to this is that not only does each title have a host of, very substantial prize money, but there's this aspect to it as well. Life-changing prize money, $60 million, but right under that is the important thing, the club championship. The presence of this club championship with a $20 million prize is the reason why you have so many teams right now are just randomly picking up Street Fighter and Tekken players. $20 million club championship, what that really means is the team that has the best overall performance at the event over the course of the 7 or 8 weeks across the however many games, that team is going to get $20 million. The team, the organization, not a player. That's important because not only do the players and the games have their own respective prize pools, this is a separate one exclusively for the team. That's a big deal because they have to win at least one event there. They can't just like double up on talent to just like kind of spread out like that. They're looking for a W. They're looking for not only a win, but then consistency across multiple titles. And since obviously fighting game players are cheap, it's only natural that you'll see a lot of these organizations just randomly all of a sudden starting to picking up Street Fighter players, start picking up Tekken players. And so that brought us to DreamHack Dallas, where you had 8 qualifier spots on this event, right? And that meant that a lot of people were gunning for the qualifier spots at this tournament. And so you get to this match where, you know, throwback, 11, 12 years later, you get a run back here, and this is the match that goes down. JDCR versus AK. But here you see JDCR in the last round of his first of 2. Heat activate. It spikes. He gets a pretty lengthy combo here. Heat dash. And this happens. So even though he's up in HP, this is set point because of the rules, which are now, it's kind of funny looking back on this Ryan Hart video, because this was a situation where there's a ruling and then the players have the option of agreeing to a rematch or something like that. Spoiler, they actually replay this, right? This situation, though, they take away player agency from that. The rule to be executed here is they have to replay the match. Guess what? They replay, AK wins, and JDCR is robbed. The timing of this is very brutal, almost to the point where if you really want to wear a tinfoil hat, like I saw some people saying like it was intentional, bro, sabotage. I don't know about any of that. There were definitely kind of controller flags you could see in other matches too. And there were a lot of players using the main stage that used pad as well. Probably the production crew as well has to use it. So the thing is, this could have happened in a number of ways, and the source could have been a number of different people, to the point where like it's not even worth trying to be Columbo about it. This could have been another player who just put his controller in his bag and it tripped the home button. Could have been somebody backstage who thought it was disconnected, just hit the home. Like, you don't know. The good thing about PlayStation 5 is that you can disable Bluetooth as a whole, and I think that that's something that you're going to see in the future. Because you got to think about it this way, right? It's really easy to say, oh, all you have to do is have the person on stage delete all the Bluetooth profiles after each match, and every player simply check and make sure that the Bluetooth profiles are deleted after every match before they play, and everything's golden, right? Now, what are the problems with suggesting that? That's more shit for the stage manager to do. Not really that big of a deal. I think I've seen some stage managers who are very good about it. It also puts player agency on the table. Telling players that it's their responsibility to check their setup before they play a match. I don't trust players to do that. Let me tell you something. As a player who plays, runs stuff, and has to deal with other players are some of the biggest bitches in the world. Like, they don't, like, you can't trust them to do shit like that. Sometimes just utterly helpless. The other issue is, okay, well, that's the stage, right? What about every other setup? You mean to tell me everybody running a bracket, every TO on every station is going to have to delete every profile in between matches? Not only that, let's put a person at every station at every tournament whose sole job is to make sure that the Bluetooth profiles are cleared on every station before a match is played. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay that extra person? You know what I mean? Like, that incurs cost. And who's going to pay for that? You're already bitching about it costing X $100 to register for this tournament. You want to throw another $30 on top of that? Does that sound reasonable too? So if you're following along here, with my flow of logic, then you're naturally going to come to the same conclusion I did. What I think is going to happen is, if it wasn't already the standard, it's going to be like the big standard here is Bluetooth is probably going to be disabled, I think, for pad players, and they're going to have to be wired. And that's maybe not a new thing, but I think it kind of is, just because of the way PlayStation 5 Bluetooth works. So y'all are going to have to double up and triple up on cables. Going to a tournament, if you play pad now, that means you might have to bring 2 or 3 USB-C cables. And it sucks because some of these cables tables are like, they're very like easily, they're easy to like fray and stuff like that. And I think that's one reason why pad players, especially now with the PS5 gen, since Bluetooth has like stronger parity, one reason why they prefer wireless, they just don't want to have to deal with the cables. Cables break all the time, right? They're cheap little, but that's why I'm saying like, the reality of being a pad player now, you're probably going to have to do that shit. You're going to have 2 or 3 copies of the cables, you know? I don't think that that's strange, because this was a pretty egregious, I think, case of this happening. It's not rare, it's not new, right? But this one felt bad. And the outcry in the response on Twitter, I mean, I was on the other side of the world. I checked Twitter and I was like, what did Jabali do to piss off the Kansas City Chiefs that bad? And if you don't know, I didn't know, but I know now, this org, Carmine Corps, I still don't even know how to pronounce them, really. The way someone explained it to me was, imagine a soccer club or like a, you know, proper football club, and imagine that level of fandom and toxicity and like NPC level fandom. Imagine that, but applied to like actual esports, you know? And as soon as they said that, I was like, oh, I get it. And bruh, they were just laying into like Jabali, obviously the organizer of DreamHack, and they were just going in on him, going in on AK. I just had some bot in the chat just drop some wild shit. Like what? That's so fucking out there and weird. And the thing is, I learned from this. I just had no idea about some of this shit. Look at this. Organization is a fraud. And it's just like, there's levels to this shit, right? So you know how you see those people who have like FGC in their name, or you play somebody on NetPlay that has the TTV or something like that. This is like exponential layers above that shit. When you don't even play and you just rep the org, KC whatever, everybody's got a KC in their name here. Check this out. Show us the death threats you got. Show us the receipts. Trash Land, not a tournament, right? Trash Land, bringing us the 2008 filming on BlackBerry. Disgrace and clowns. So the big thing to know is that a lot of these fans are very new. They don't know about Tekken. They don't know about fighting games. They didn't watch or care before this past weekend, where you had a lot of French players or organization members on this team that were restreaming to like pretty, you know, generous audience numbers and introducing them to all this stuff. And so, of course, because a lot of these people they don't play anything themselves, or, you know, they mash on something super casually and just have like the super tribal hive mind, they're naturally going to just gawk super hard on whatever the person that they're watching is into or whatever, right? First fighting tourney I watch and probably last. You guys are unprofessional and don't deserve high cash prize viewers and commitment. Low standards and unprofessional. Get them, Kevin, get them. It was pretty crazy, I think, for Jabali to be getting a lot of this kind of stuff, but it also brings back to this. Kayane makes this long post talking about why she was dissatisfied. This is a weird one. We live in a timeline in the French scene where huge teams like Carmine, Team Aegis, Vital can sponsor dedicated players like this. They had a long trip. They had 17,000 French viewers waiting for them to play. Gather even more viewers than the official English stream with just French restreams. Moment we waited for, blah, 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 blah. Everyone was so hype, and we had to watch it recorded with a smartphone. I'm also a tournament organizer. I can't understand how you can't put a stream match what kills you that has 10,000 viewers waiting to watch. Disappointing. How can we attract and keep these viewers? She tags Jabali and says this at the end. Maybe we can help for next time. So I had to take a step back when I read this at first, because my knee-jerk reaction was something different. If I'm being charitable, I'm going to say that she's saying this with like, let's open a conversation about how we can change this. To which I say, this isn't a new conversation. This is stuff that people have been talking about for a long time. The truth is, like, with our event infrastructure, and especially with regards to this particular weekend of an event, this is at a DreamHack. This was 2 tournaments hosted at a DreamHack where they have a particular schedule, you know, that they built around having to have both top 8s, I think, on Sunday. So that meant running 2 500-man tournaments in 2 days like that. There's naturally, before top 8, if you're the kind of player who isn't consistently making top 8, none of that screen time is guaranteed, ever. Especially at a live, living, breathing tournament with hundreds, thousands of people. Like I said, to be charitable, maybe she wants to have a conversation on how to change that, to which I would say, like, it's been a conversation that's been had for years, but if you can bring some new ideas to the table, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear it. My initial reaction to reading this was, I could not believe she tweeted this. like I could not believe she had sent on this. This was a very entitled thing to say. That was my initial reaction. When you're sitting on the other side of the world, not paying the bills for this stream, just watching it, at least I think, and then you're armchair quarterbacking, hey, why wouldn't you throw this match on stream? People have been, like, that's been a thing for, like, years. I just couldn't believe that on an org level they were trying to like say this or imply this. It's just kind of crazy. To all the KC fans out there, what I want to say is, if fighting games being bigger means that we have to share airspace with motherfuckers like you, I'm cool if this shit never gets bigger and if it stays niche and small. Because this shit was fucking embarrassing. This is a huge L, not just for you, internationally. Not on a personal level, on an international level. Huge L. And I fuck with French people too. Let's be real, you're fanboys. Stick to what you're good at and stay in your lane. Buying jerseys and being a fan. Let the tournaments that you didn't care about before 3 days ago, that kind of stuff, let us handle that. Fighting game stuff, let us handle that. Playing games, actually playing the fucking game, let us handle that. Y'all stick to what y'all are good at, hitting the sub button, watching your favorite streamers, and gawking as much as possible, because I think we got this figured out, bro. We've been dealing with this for a while. Anyway, that's is that enough mansplaining for you? Summary: if you're a pad player, you better get ready to be bringing 2 and 3 pairs of cables to events if you're competing in them, because I have a feeling that that's what's going to be the change that comes out about this. How many of you guys know about Dante's Inferno? If you go to the very bottom of hell, isn't it really icy and shit? I'm not going to put you guys down there, but I'm thinking like 7th or 8th layer. French KC fans, whether you live in Kansas City or not, French KC fans and pad players to me belong 7th or 8th layer of hell, I'm guessing. And I look forward to seeing y'all get there, quite frankly. Y'all have a good one.